After sweeping the Cardinals and the Cubs to begin this homestand, the red-hot Reds hope to do the same beginning tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game one of a two-game series starts tonight when Bronson Arroyo takes them out. It's next on Fox Sports Ohio. Well, for a change, there's a little bit of sunshine in downtown Cincinnati, and we welcome you to Great American Ballpark as this 7-game homestand continues with the first of 2 against the Pirates. Through the first 5 games on this homestand, the Redlegs are unbeaten. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball right here on Fox Sports Ohio. And, well, Cowboy, everything coming together. You heard from Walt Jocketty just a few minutes ago on Reds Live. Whether you're talking about pitching, you and I are talking about hitting. This offense, again, leading the league in home runs and runs scored.
You know, Tom, for so long it just seemed like everybody was putting the blame on the offense because they weren't scoring runs. They weren't doing all the things that everybody expected them to. And now you turn the page to the month of May, and I don't know that there's anybody that's around that's swinging the bats any better than what this offense has done. And a lot of it has to do with that guy coming back. A lot of it has to do with pitching coming back and allowing him to relax a little bit. But it just seems like everybody, whether the position is at third, whether it's catching, second base, Ryan Hannigan, that's a hit and run right there and a perfect swing down the right field line. You got guys running all over the place. Drew Stubbs seems like he has cut down on strikeouts so much more this year than what we saw even the whole time in 2010. And this guy, well, that pitch almost bounced and it was a home run. He hit it out of the ballpark. Brandon Phillips, whether you hit him first, second, or fourth, no questions asked from Brandon Phillips. He just continues to go out and get the job done. Jay Bruce not playing tonight, but he has been as big a contributor as anyone else when the game has been on the line.
And here over the last 15 games, the Reds are 11-4, and a lot of that is due to the quality of pitching. We'll examine that when we return.
produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Brandon Phillips signing a few autographs leading up to game time here tonight. Pirates and the Reds in the first of two before an extended 10-game road trip for the Reds beginning on Friday night up north in Cleveland. What about the weather the rest of the night? We check in with our good friend Tim Hedrick.
Oh, it'll be another cool one down at the ball yard tonight, and that chance of some spotty light rain lingers across the tri-state. 58 to 57 to 56. I've had a lot of requests. Oh, Tim, show us your left-handed swing. You got it. Oh! Maybe stronger than the old right-handed swing. Enjoy the game on Fox Sports Ohio.
Say, I like that lefty swing. Not many guys have liked swinging bats lately against this red leg starting pitching.
You got that right. Check out those numbers. W's, W's, and no L's. That's what I like.
It has been a long, long time since a Red starter has been hung with a loss. You've got to go all the way back to the 3rd of May. And here we are, the 18th. The starter's on quite a run, so now we turn it back over with Bronson Arroyo on the mound against a big turnaround story in Charlie Morton.
Well, these same two hooked up the first time the Pirates came through this, and it was not a real pretty story for Bronson Arroyo or the Reds. Charlie Morton pitched the full 9 innings, and he shut down the Reds as much as anybody has this whole year.
All right, first pitch coming up. Reds and the Pirates on Fox Sports Ohio. Ballpark just about set to go. Let's take a look at Clint Hurdle's starting lineup. He has Andrew McCutchen leading off in center field. Jose Tabata is in left. Garrett Jones in right. Neil Walker, the cleanup hitter, at second. Lyle Overbay at first. Pedro Alvarez at third. A latter third of Chris Snyder, Ronnie Cedeno, and Charlie Morton. So Bronson Arroyo ready to go against Andrew McCutchen. At strike one, we're underway. Ninth start of the year for Bronson Arroyo. He has been spectacular on the road. He has really struggled for whatever reason here at home. He's 1-3 with an ERA of over 5.5 in 5 home starts compared to 2-0 with an earned run average that begins with the digit 0 when pitching away from home. 0-2 to McCutchen, and we'll do it again.
Well, I would say that Arroyo owes these guys. He had to pitch against them battling that flu symptoms and mononucleosis the first go round, and he didn't have a whole lot that day.
Pop up in a shallow right field. Jay Bruce not feeling well tonight, so Fred Lewis starts in place of him. And our game on Fox Sports Ohio tonight, brought to you by State Farm. State Farm agents are there when you need them. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. By your local Ford dealer, Ford Drive One. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline, whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Jose Tabata looks at a breaking ball away. About a week and a half ago, the Pirates felt very good about themselves, and why shouldn't they? They were sitting one game over 500 through the first 35 games of the year, and then all of a sudden, Cowboy, they have lost 6 in a row. They got rained out yesterday, although they say it never rained in the nation's capital. They called the game off at 9:30 in the morning. Their plane wasn't ready to go until well after 4, and between 9:30 and 4 it didn't rain.
Wow.
Well, not only Arroyo, but the Reds certainly have revenge on their minds. You brought it up earlier. The Pirates really took it to them here at Great American Ballpark earlier this year, winning 3 out of 4.
And especially this guy that's standing at the plate, Tabata. Seemed like he was making every kind of defensive play known to mankind, and every ball that came to the plate, he was rattling the walls.
Well, we understand during this 6-game losing streak, the Pirates have had a terrible time scoring runs. And the Reds are hoping that certainly continues here for the next, well, a little more than 36 out. Check swing and a miss, and Tabata gone, and the first 2 retired. Take a look defensively at the Reds, presented by Ford. Johnny back out in left field. Stubbs in center. Told you Lewis for the ill Jay Bruce. Same infield we saw here last night, and Ryan Hannigan hanging the signs for Bronson Arroyo. 2 away for right fielder Garrett Jones.
That infield should be sponsored by a vacuum cleaner group, because that's what they do.
Outfield's not bad either.
That's what I'm talking about. You list them, they catch them.
And that one shot into center field. A 2-out single by Garrett Jones.
Arroyo throwing strikes early, and this is a changeup that started up and stayed up. That's a pitch he wants to dive down and away off the plate, get Jones to chase, and the ball stayed on the plate.
So the Pirate first inning will continue. Now it's Neil Walker off to a very good start. You see the 22 runs batted in. On the outside corner, a called strike.
Couple of pretty good hitting second basemen in this game tonight, both hitting in the 4-hole, Phillips and Walker.
Walker's 22 RBIs currently ranks tied for 4th in the majors among all second basemen. Guess who's number 1 among all second basemen in RBIs? Brandon Phillips. Guess who's 3rd? Orlando Cabrera of the Cleveland Indians.
How about that?
Our old buddy Orlando. We'll have a chance to see him beginning on Friday up north.
And I would imagine, Tom, just going out there and saying off the cuff, he is probably one of the reasons they are where they are. He brings that winning spirit everywhere he's been. Stats prove it.
2-1 on Walker, and it's a little bit low off the outside corner, and now Arroyo behind in the count. 3 balls and a strike. Glenn Hurdle in his first year as skipper of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And for a franchise that has not had a winning season in 18 years, he's trying to just turn around the entire mentality. Breaking ball of beauty on 3-1 for strike 2.
Well, I loved his thoughts that he gave to some of his hitters on the struggles they faced hitting. He basically said, look, if what you're doing right now is not working, try something else. Don't do the same thing over and over again and continue to fail.
So we talked about their hitting woes. They've only averaged a little more than 2 runs per game. And that is a fair ball down the right field line. It takes a favorable bounce, allowing Lewis to get to it, and they're going to hold the runner at third. If that ball stays down the line, the runner easily scores. But it hits the wall right where it shoots out to go down into the right field corner, and it's a double by Walker with Jones on to third.
Well, I got blocked when the ball took off. It looked like it was foul from where I sat, but it's definitely fair. And you're right, Tom. If that ball doesn't continue to hook, it doesn't catch that little jut right there where the bat boy sits and kick right out to Fred Lewis. May have saved the Reds a run right away.
It's been a very perplexing start for Lyle Overbay. Batting average at .230. This guy has always been a very good hitter. So it's a long single for Walker. They're on the corners with 2 away, and it's ball 1 to Lyle Overbay, who has 3 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Overbay originally came up with Arizona. Highly touted prospect. Went over in a mega deal for Richie Sexton to the Brewers. And has spent the last handful of years up north in Toronto.
And that may be part of the early struggles for Overbay, having faced nothing but American League pitching over the last 4 or 5 years, and you come to a new league, you feel like a rookie again.
Well, now Arroyo's gone at 3-0. You have Pedro Alvarez standing in the on-deck circle. So 2-out trouble here for Bronson Arroyo. Overbay the green light on 3-0, and boy, if you're a manager or a hitting coach, that's not the kind of swing you want to see. 3-0, shanking one off to the opposite field.
And you see the face of Overbay. He didn't like the swing either. He was late.
Those are mighty good numbers for Overbay in his career against the Reds. A lot of that damage done primarily with Milwaukee, but some with Toronto. 3-2 now to Overbay. Of course, Toronto did all kinds of damage to Bronson Arroyo. In 2 starts exactly 1 year apart. Neither start did he survive the second inning and gave up over 15 runs. But he will survive the opening frame tonight.
Good comeback.
Reds coming up. lineup. It'll be Drew Stubbs in center, Paul Janisch again in the 2-hole at short, Joey Votto at first, Brandon Phillips a cleanup hitter with Scott Rowland at third and Fred Lewis for Jay Bruce in right. Johnny Gomes in left, Ryan Hannigan catching Bronson Arroyo. Charlie Morton really struggled, and that's being kind, in 2010, but what a turnaround so far here in 2011.
Well, the big problem was the home runs that he gave up in 2010. He could barely stay in a ball game for 4 innings, much less 6. But yet this year, he's only given up 2 home runs in all the starts he's made up until this point. A lot of that has to do with a newfound hard sinking fastball, and he will throw it time and time and time again. And it's not the greatest of controlled fastball either. He's walked as many as he's struck out.
Ball 1 low to Drew Stubbs. Has that batting average up to 279, 7 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He had a stretch of 9 consecutive games, did Stubbs, where he had been on base at least twice, come to an end here last night. Went 1 out of 5 and had a stolen base. 1-2 to Drew.
See, that pitch there looked like it was right down the heart of the plate, but yet that movement from Charlie Morton makes it even that much more difficult to hit.
Back up through the middle. And able to make the play in time is Walker. 1 away. We take a look at the Pirates on defense, brought to you by Ford. McCutchen in center, flanked by Tabata and Jones. Along the infield, Pedro Alvarez, Lyle Overbay on the corners, Walker and Ronnie Cedeno up the middle. And a battery of Charlie Morton and the longtime Diamondback Chris Snyder. Paul Janisch at 248 without a home run, 11 runs batted in. He looks at a fastball, strike 1. Since coming back from that injured ankle, it makes you wonder if Janisch is still bothered by that sprained right ankle. Only 1 hit in 17 at bats since his return.
And if he is, then he's got to make sure that he does not continue with that situation, because he is a different hitter right now than he was before he went on the DL.
Bat goes flying into the stands, and it looks like everybody is A-OK. Oh, thank God for that. That went right over the Pirate dugout into the second row of the seats.
This is that sinking, hard-running fastball right in on the hands of Paul Janisch. You see him try to pull his hands in to get the bat head to it, and that ball hits directly on the label. You wonder if with the right foot, Tom, if he just can't push off of it. Seems not to bother him in the field at all.
Well, now Joey Votto at 342, 5 home runs and 24 runs batted in. The amazing thing in regard to how well the Reds have played here in the month of May, Votto has not homered since the end of April. He's been a good hitter. He's getting on base a lot. On base percentage well over 400. But he only has 8 runs batted in going back to the 27th of April. Of course, they're not pitching to him as frequently, and you knew that was coming sooner or later. But I mean, this Reds team's been knocking a cover off the ball without Votto necessarily having to lead the charge each and every night. That's a good thing.
And it's amazing that they've have won 11 of their last 13 with those stats you just put out there. I mean, this guy, they lean on heavily.
Line drive left center field. Over to cut it off is Tabata, and Votto will slam on the brakes with a 2-out single.
Well, you're talking about a change in facing righties versus lefties for Charlie Morton in 2011. So far this year, and that's before that base hit, lefties hitting a cool 404 off of him, but yet right-handers only at 161. stack him up with lefty.
And perhaps that's why Fred Lewis is in there tonight for Jay Bruce rather than Chris Heisey. We alluded to it earlier, the 26 runs batted in, the most among all second basemen in Major League Baseball. A ball and a strike to Brandon Phillips. Afternoon game tomorrow, 12:35 first pitch. No television tomorrow. Plenty of tickets available for the final game on this homestand, and then boy, oh boy, does it get interesting starting on Friday night.
But there will be radio tomorrow.
Yes, there will be. Runner goes, and a roller foul. Will you be moving over to the radio side tomorrow?
I'll be sitting right over there with your daddy.
You don't wear a sign around your neck that says he's Marty?
Oh, no.
With an arrow?
No. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Goes with the territory.
One and two on Brandon Phillips. And it's down the right field line into the corner. Over to try and cut it off is Garrett Jones. Votto on his way to third, and they're going to hold him there on a double by Brandon.
Now that was a great job of hitting by Phillips. That's the best way to hit a sinker ball pitcher. You stay inside the baseball, don't overswing, and shoot the ball up the middle or the other way. And Phillips gets a low sinking fastball. If you try to pull that, that's nothing but a ground ball to shortstop or third.
Well, Brandon Phillips safe at second, safe and secure in New York Life. Right now a 2-out scoring chance. Pirates had one in the top of the inning, left runners at first and third. Reds have runners at second and third for Scotty Rowland. 10 of 20 since coming back off the disabled list. And of course, since he's come back, the Reds have not lost a single game.
That's amazing. That comes back, no rehab, just straight off the DL. I'm going to hit 500 and we're going to win every game.
Two and 0.
What is the Reds going to do when it's time for Rowland to move on? They just going to let somebody
Don't worry
else,
about that down the road.
they're going to let somebody else wear a Rowland uni, fake them out,
Change your name.
yeah.
Well, they're going to get him here. In the air, foul territory. Snyder for the final out of the inning. So 2 left in scoring position and 1 no score. Headlines brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Take a look at some of these numbers, Cowboys. Since Homer Bailey and then shortly thereafter Johnny Cueto come off the DL, the Reds are hot.
Hot, and hot enough to be the best record in Major League Baseball since that date of May 4th. That is smoking hot.
Can you say yes, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Reds are only a half game away from having the best record in the National League, period, here in 2011. After the Phillies got it handed to them in St. Louis the last couple of games. That's quite a turnaround for the Cardinals as well, after getting swept here to go back home and beat Philadelphia 2 straight.
Well, they were on the cusp of some miserable play had they gone home and lost a couple of ball games after getting swept here. I mean, nobody ever wants to get swept in back-to-back series, much less lose 5 games in a row.
Well, everybody playing these 2-game series all over baseball this week in preparation for interleague play, which begins on Friday for most teams in the big leagues, including the Reds and including these Pirates. Reds will be, of course, up in Cleveland. The Pirates will play at home against the Tigers.
You know, the thing too, Tom, about the St. Louis Cardinals winning those games against Philly, I would tend to believe after getting swept and then coming back and winning 2 games against one of the best, if not the best team currently in the National League, in the Phillies, that would remind you quite vividly that that club is here to stay to the end.
Oh, there's no debate about that. I mean, the Reds had their way with St. Louis on Friday, coming from behind and winning, and it really took it to them the next couple of days. But make no mistake about it, that is a good club.
And you look at the way that Garcia has emerged, the left-handed kid. I've had people tell me today that he was something else against that Philadelphia lineup.
Well, what's he, 6-0 now, right?
Yes.
I mean, right now he might be the best pitcher in the league today.
Well, I had 2 guys tell me today that they would have no problem, and I mean, these guys have been around a while, no problem going in any publication and saying he's the best left-handed pitcher in baseball. That is strong.
2-2 on Pedro Alvarez and got him swinging. Second strikeout for Arroyo, 1 out in the second. Well, speaking of left-handers, for a little more on Aroldis Chapman after visiting with Walt Jocketty on Reds Live, let's check in with Jim Day.
Tom, thank you very much. We talked to Walt Jocketty live on Reds Live pregame, and one of the things we talked about was Aroldis Chapman. That question out there, when he's ready to come off the disabled list, will he come back to the big club or will he go on a rehab assignment? The answer is he will go on a rehab assignment. He will travel with the team to Cleveland this weekend, then travel to Philadelphia. Brian Price and the trainers will decide next week when and if he is ready to go on a rehab, and he will rehab at the AAA level with Louisville. And they said they're not worried about his numbers. They want, and Cowboy, you can talk more about this, they want to get his arm slot back, get it up higher, and get his confidence back, and he'll do so at the AAA level.
Well, every pitching coach is going to tell you the further that your hand gets away from your head, the less control that you have 60 feet 6 inches away.
Broken bat pop-up, and what a play by Giannis.
Willie Mays style.
Over the shoulder running grab, and there are 2 away.
And there's no pitcher that can throw the ball right by his ear and be successful for a tremendous amount of time. You want to be almost in a 90-degree angle with your elbow and your hand out from your ear. You just don't want to get that hand way away from the ear and basically throwing at that low 3/4 spot, which is really where Chapman was. Actually, he was there once and then above his head once and then down lower once. They just want it consistently at that 90-degree angle where he was earlier in the season.
Two down for the number 8 hitter, shortstop Ronnie Cedeno. 243 batter with a home run and 13 runs batted in, no score. We're in the top of the second inning.
Some of the issues with Chapman, Tom, have got to be from learning to pitch out of the bullpen and knowing how to keep yourself ready when you're not pitching in games.
On the ground and rolling, it's a 1-2-3 second inning for Bronson Arroyo. Reds coming up, no score. Join FoxSportsOhio.com's Hall of Fame baseball writer Hal McCoy right now for a live in-game chat at FoxSportsOhio.com, presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. Fred Lewis, Johnny Gomes, Ryan Hannigan, the trio to begin the Reds' second inning against Charlie Morton in a scoreless game, first of two. And the final two games of what has been a 16-game run for the Reds inside the National League Central Division. And boy, have they been good during it, to say the least. Well, that didn't take long, one out.
Tried to do the old slap bunt where you catch Pedro Alvarez in on the grass, and as soon as you drop the bat down, as he charges in, he's trying to flip that ball right over his head into left field. And number one, it didn't work, and number two, it is about as hard to do as you can imagine. That takes a whole lot of practice.
And here's Johnny Gomes. And there's strike. Despite all his problems offensively, that 188 batting average, Gomes is still tied for second on the team in home runs and in walks, and he has 19 batted in. He had a big home run to cap off that 7-run sixth inning in the opening game against the Cubbies in that 7-4 Reds win. Had the night off last night. We were talking about the Cardinals a minute ago, and they'll be playing the first of two against Houston in about a half hour from now. 3-2 on Johnny Gomes. Over the mound, softly hit, charging and making a nice play is Walker. And the first two retired by Morton be a part of the 10th annual Subway Redlegs Run Saturday, June 11th. In celebration of this year's 10th anniversary, they've added a 10K run to the event. So there's 5K, 10K, 1 mile, or Gappers Fun Run for the kids. Visit reds.com/run for more information. It's presented by Subway, Cintas, and Fleet Feet. At catching position for the Reds, we talked about it just before the start of the game tonight. Here you have Hannigan with 12 runs batted in. Of course, sharing time with Ramon Hernandez, who has 15 RBIs, so 27 runs batted in. Between this Reds duo, it is an easily overlooked part of this overall offensive team because it's not manned by one guy, say like All-Star Brian McCann down in Atlanta. But Atlanta catching was the only team in the National League to drive in more runs than the Reds catchers did last year. And they're at it again. I mean, they're right there first, second, or third among all National League teams at that position, offensively speaking, in every category. But Hannigan out on strikes. We've played 2, and we are scoreless.
It was unbelievable, and I tell you, just you stick around here long enough, you're going to see a lot of things. And boy, it feels like we're in August, but we're only in May. Because man, we play some, exciting drag out, knockdown baseball where every day it's a challenge. But these guys, they rise to it, and the more they do it, the more they believe they can do it.
Our Geico Direct quote from manager Dusty Baker. Scoreless game in the first of 2 with the Pirates. We open the 3rd inning, pitcher against pitcher, and Charlie Morton looks at a strike. Morton 1 of 15 as a batter. Has only hit a double. He has 1 RBI.
It's a good way to throw out your back swinging at a pitch like that. Almost fell down.
on swinging Morton. And that's 3 strikeouts in the game for Bronson Arroyo. We check in on the National League Central Division standings, brought to you by Honda. And after the Reds swept St. Louis over the weekend, it go from a 1.5 back to a 1.5 up. It remains a 1.5 in front, with the Cardinals winning the last 2 over the Phillies. Milwaukee had a winning streak come to an end last night in Los Angeles. They'll be in San Diego tonight. Told you Houston and St. Louis, and the Cubbies trailing early down in Florida 1-0. We talk about a tough road trip. Cubs lose the first 2 here. They play 2 in Florida and play 3 in Boston over the weekend. Marlins are good.
Yes, they are. And the Reds have got a trip of that type of magnitude coming up here shortly. When they go to Cleveland and Philadelphia and Atlanta, it ain't going to be no cakewalk. I can tell you that right now. If they come out of that trip at 500, I'd be awfully, awfully happy, because it is going to be a tough one.
Straightaway center field, hit well, racing back Stubbs, and he'll get it a step in front of the wall.
Well, that's a nice play there by Drew Stubbs. Ball went a lot further than what it looked when it came off the bat of McCutchen. It was a pitch down, but he got plenty of leverage on the ball. You can see Stubbs check the wall at the last second. As soon as his feet hit the warning track, you can see him start to break down just a bit so he can get the ball into the glove without crashing into that green padding out there.
You know, it's not always the spectacular diving catch and all that. Easier time here for Stubbs, but that last play just amazes me. You know, when you're running and your eyes are moving, you know, tracking a ball, that's a big league play. Full, brought to you by Progressive. Who will be the first Reds pitcher to complete a game this year? 1 Homer Bailey, 2 Edinson Volquez, 3 Bronson Arroyo, 4 Johnny Cueto, 5 Travis Wood. Text your answer to 37664. Standard texting rates apply. Bronson Arroyo digging in. Strike 1. Each team threatened in the first inning. Pirates had consecutive singles with 2 out. Lyle Overbay bounced out to Joey Votto, leaving runners on the corners. Reds had a single by Votto, a 2-out double by Phillips. But Morton able to retire Scott Rowland on a foul ball to Chris Snyder. So scoreless here in the 3rd. A bouncing ball by the mound. Walker throws out Arroyo, 1 out. Bronson Arroyo getting the most votes so far.
Well, you look at the names, and Bailey and Cueto only have one. The other two guys don't have one. Go with the odds.
Cueto getting a lot of votes here, though.
It's because he's been pitching like a champ. Him and Bailey both. Tell you what, Travis Wood has pitched awfully well his last few times out, too.
And let's face it, we talked about it last night. Volquez looked very good last night. Cedeno better get rid of it. And just in time.
I think even Lyle Overbay was a little bit pretentious on that one. Looked like he got stuck in the glove just for a second. He got him. And he's fast.
2 up, 2 down for Giannis, who broke his bat on a soft liner to Walker his first time up.
Just about every pitch that Morton throws up there looks like it's a pretty good pitch from where it starts. But where it ends up is the problem. It usually ends up either on your hands or down in the dirt.
Giannis gone swinging, and that'll end the inning. Couple of strikeouts for Morton. Arroyo and Morton on top of their game through the front 3. Tonight's game on Fox Sports Ohio brought to you by JTM Food Group, proudly serving America's restaurants, schools, retailers, and our military around the world. JTM Food Group by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. BuyAToyota.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by John Deere. Visit your local Cincinnati John Deere dealer this deer season. That's a big league lid right there, Cowboy.
That's about a 30-gallon special.
Turn to talk to your buddy and you bump him in the nose talking to him all night.
Yeah, get the guy 2 down from him.
Look at that guy behind him. He's like, how did I end up with this seat? High pop-up into foul territory off the bat of Garrett Jones, and there's room over there for Scotty Rowland. 1 out. AT&T trivia question time. What Pirate led the National League in stolen bases in 1978, and of course the We Are Family team of 1979. It's a name from the past.
Do you know it?
Yes, sir. You say yes, sir?
I don't know it, so I'd have to say no, sir.
Neil Walker singled up the right field line in the opening inning. The last Pirate, in fact, to reach base against Arroyo. Bronson got over base, stranding 2 to end the first inning. Mowed him down in order in each of the last 2 frames.
This guy's got a very short, compact swing with a long finish. He gets to the baseball in a hurry, and with that long finish, it allows him to drive the ball into the gaps or out of the ballpark.
Of course, he's a guy the fan base in Pittsburgh can hang their hat on. He's a local kid. They gave him a couple of chances, sent him back up to the minor leagues, or back down to the minor leagues, back up to the big league club. And obviously, he has become a very solid player.
The way that he stands and the way that he approaches the ball reminds me of an early Todd Helton from the Colorado Rockies. Just the way he stands at the plate, elbows down, bat up, very short swing. I would imagine if you're a young player and you're going to emulate somebody, it's not a bad one to be after.
Neil Walker graduated from high school in 2004 at Pine Richland, Pennsylvania High School, just outside of Pittsburgh. Their #1 pick in 2004. His daddy played in major leagues, a pitcher in Montreal, Detroit, St. Louis, and the Angels back in the early to late 70s.
Not a good name to have for being a pitcher, Walker.
It's funny how baseball has changed when you look at some of the career ERAs of guys that pitched in the 70s. His dad pitched for 9 years in the major leagues, had an ERA of 3.8. Primarily a reliever. Started 17 games in his career. And there's ball 4. First walk of the night by Bronson. The Reds went nearly a decade in between winning seasons, and of course they went even longer than that in between playoff appearances. They were in that 1-game playoff back in '99 before winning the division last year, but that doesn't count as a playoff game. Reds have not been in the postseason since '95. Pirates have not been there since 1992. They had 3 consecutive years where they were champions of then the National League East. 3 years of winning 95 or more games under manager Jim Leyland. They had Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla and Jay Bell and Andy Van Slyke and that entire cast of characters. And they came up just short a couple of times in the postseason. In '90 to the Reds, '91 and '92 to Atlanta.
That was a staff led by Doug Drabeck. They had some guys that could hit and pitch.
Over Bay rips one into right field. And they're at first and second with 1 out. But that '92 team was the last winning year they had. Now, Jeffrey, it almost makes you wonder, how can you go that long?
I just think it has to do with the money that you put into your organization, and you know that this club has transferred ownership more than most. And every time you start over, there's a fresh new philosophy on how we're going to do things, a fresh new philosophy on how we're going to spend money, either at the big league level or in the minor leagues. And then by the time you start to get somewhere close to making that philosophy work, team sells again, start all over. And that is nothing but a losing philosophy.
Well, they're trying to build his club now around guys like McCutchen and Tabata and Jones and Walker and Alvarez. This was a guy who looked so good after they brought him up last year, and he looks good right now. He clubs a 3-run home run halfway into the seats in right center field in a 3-0 Pittsburgh lead. That's 9 home runs allowed by Bronson Arroyo now in 54 innings.
Almost the same exact scenario happened to Arroyo the last time he faced this ball club against Charlie Morton. Leaves a changeup about belt high, and that baby gets out of here in a hurry.
It's only the second home run all year long by Alvarez. And with that 3-run home run, he has now reached 10 runs batted in.
1 inning did in Arroyo in the last time that he faced Charlie Morton. To Tabata, Overbay, and then it was Neil Walker back then.
So here the Pirates, during a 6-game losing streak, had scored a total of 15 runs, and they get 3 on 1 swing of the bat here in the 4th inning tonight from Alvarez. For his coming back, Reds started that trend a year ago and leading Major League Baseball and coming from behind when the opponent scores first this year. Hit hard, and Johnny nearly came in too far, but able to leap into the air and make the play. 2 out.
Well, one or 2 runs against a club like the Pirates, you would normally say no problem at all. But with the guy on the mound, Charlie Morton, he's pitching with a whole lot of confidence, knowing what he did last time in this ballpark. 9 innings, and would have had a shutout if not for 1 swing of the bat off of Jay Bruce at the end of the ball game.
Hard hit ball straight away center, and Stubbs again able to track it down. There's some hard hit balls in that inning off Arroyo. One of them leaves the yard off the bat of Alvarez to give the Pirates a 3-0 lead. Our game tonight, Dennis Wander of Cincinnati, who currently drives a 2003 Camry with over 200,000 miles on it, will win the beautiful new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win it at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Now the Reds forced again to try and come from behind. They trail 3-0 on the home run from Alvarez in the top of this 4th inning. Votto, Phillips, and rolling to start things against Morton. Votto singled, Phillips doubled in the first. Both were stranded to end the inning. And nary a Red has reached since. Take a look at our Farmers Insurance report card. National League runs leaders, Drew Stubbs and Joey Votto tied with the most in the league, each with 32 runs scored. Of course, the Reds as a team, the way they've been knocking the cover off the ball through the 5 games on this homestand, they now lead the National League in runs scored. They've leapfrogged the Cardinals, and they lead the National League in home runs.
And they'll continue to put up the offensive numbers. I guarantee you, coming into this ball game, there's not a soul down there that doesn't remember what Charlie Morton did against them the first go around. The object is changing the result. Easier said than done. We've seen him anywhere from 95 down to around 87 with just a huge variety of movements on the pitches.
Struck him out, 91 up in the zone, and that's a 3rd strikeout of the night for Charlie Morton.
See where the hitters are swinging at the pitch. That ball seems to be middle in as Votto starts his swing, and you see where the ball ends up. Almost off the plate away. That's how much movement this kid Morton has got on the baseball to fool even the MVP Joey Votto. Tough to judge.
Charlie Morton grew up in Connecticut. You don't see a lot of Major League Baseball players come out of that state. Drafted by Atlanta going back to 2002 in the 3rd round, then came over in that big deal involving Nate McLouth in June of 2009. A roller right at the 3rd baseman Alvarez, and Votto and Phillips easily retired to begin the 4th. Pirate led the National League in stolen bases back-to-back years, 78 and 79. Omar Moreno. How about that? 148 of them in 2 years.
That was Tim Foley taking that bunt.
Scott Rowland, and it's fouled back out of play. Rowland stranded 2 runners in the 1st inning. A foul out to the catcher. You know, you talk about Morton, you're talking about a guy who, when he came up with Atlanta in 08, went 4.8 ERA over 6. In 09, after the trade with the Pirates, earned run average at 4.5, but went 5-9. And then last year, 2-12 with an ERA of almost 8.
I think the whole issue has been Ray Searage, the pitching coach for the Pirates in spring training this year, making the adjustment on his fastball. No more four-seam fastballs, all two-seam fastballs. And using the split finger in between there so that the rotation of the off-speed pitch looks the same as the sinking fastball. That way he stays out of the middle of the plate and he doesn't give up the long ball, which is what killed him last year.
And 79 and 2/3 innings. 79 innings in the big league. 17 starts. He gave up 15 home runs.
And this is a guy that threw the ball awfully hard, too. I mean, he was approaching 96, 97 almost every night out with that four-seam fastball. And now he's taken quite a few miles an hour off, making the ball move and using the movement of a two-seam fastball, and he's found some success, a whole lot of it. What happened there, Tom?
I don't know if Snyder took one in the eye or maybe he just got some dirt in his eye.
On the foul ball?
Yeah, they came out and put some kind of solution, some drops in his eyes. Must have gotten something in one of them.
Must have contacts. Had to be exactly what you described. Ball goes down into the dirt, and the dirt splatters right back up into your eyeball. Dirt in the eye is bad enough. Dirt with a contact and a 95-mile-an-hour heater coming. Doesn't work too good.
1-1 to Fred Lewis. And back up through the middle into center field. That'll be a base hit. So the Reds will bring the tying run to the plate. A 2-out walk to Rowan, a single by Lewis. And here comes Johnny Gomes.
And this is the situation that time and time again, as you see Fred Lewis just bang that baby right back up the box. And that's what you almost have to do against a sinker ball pitcher, is drive the ball back up the middle. But don't you think, Tom, that everybody is just sitting in wait, hoping that Gomes can have one swing of the bat and turn a game around, and maybe that'll put him back in the new direction? I know he had the home run the other way the other night, but for it to mean something would be a whole lot better.
And look, Johnny Gomes has always been a very streaky player. So not only would that give him a big boost of confidence, but it might start, one of those roles where for 3 or 4 weeks you can't get him out.
Right. And he could carry this club.
Yeah.
And boy, they could sure use that going into some of these American League games with the designated hitter.
That's not going to happen here. It's a routine ground ball, and the inning is over. Red Strand 2, they trail by 3. Minutes before every game with Reds Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Everything you need to get ready for Reds baseball with Jim Day and Jeff Pecora. And on this upcoming road trip, a reminder, no television tomorrow. We'll have all 3 games from Cleveland, including the return of George Grand back with Chris Welsh. They'll have the action for you over the weekend, and then we'll have all 4 games on television from Philadelphia. We'll be doing Friday night on Fox Sports Ohio in Atlanta. The Saturday game is a night game in Atlanta. That'll be on the Fox network. And then Sunday is Sunday Night Baseball. Reds and the Braves. Reds will be on the Fox Saturday game of the week. A great deal coming up here over the next month and a half. They'll be on against Atlanta the 28th. They'll be on against the Dodgers on the 4th. They'll be on against the Giants on the 11th. And a lot more than that once we get into July and August and September for that matter.
I would believe as long as the Reds continue the winning that they're doing now, obviously you're not going to stay with the same pace you're at this point, but you continue to win, you're going to be on the networks.
The strike 3 call to Morton. The question is, will they be playing on the network? And I mean the big network. I'm talking about over-the-air television come October, because you know what that means. If you end up on network television in October, that means you're playing in the LCS or the World Series.
Yes, sir. That's big time. Those are the games you don't ever forget. No.
3-0 ball game. Pirates in front on a 3-run home run in the 4th inning by Pedro Alvarez. It's backhanded by Rowan, and McCutchen is thrown out. So 2 away for Arroyo. He ran into trouble in the 4th inning with 1 out. He walked Neil Walker, allowed a single to Overbay, and then the home run to Alvarez.
Seems like every time you see Roland throw, even when he's moving, he seems to have his core of his body in a good position, or a good throwing position.
That's a strong man. That's country strong.
And he's been that way ever since he got to the big leagues. He's always been like that. Never in Philadelphia, I thought, where'd you come from?
He told you, Jasper, Indiana.
Indiana. You been lifting? No. Just baling hay, throwing it in the back of the truck. Oh. One of those kind of boys.
Well, that's what you do, don't you, down in Mississippi? You do a lot of that, don't you?
Not anymore.
That's what I'm saying, in the old days.
In the old days.
Did you bale a lot of hay, did you?
Loaded trucks. Big boxes and big trucks. For a long time. Enough to erase my fingerprints. Not a fun way to make a living. Probably why I've had 2 back surgery. Probably has more to do with that than he did the pitching.
3-1 to Tabata. He draws a 2-out walk. It's not what Arroyo had in mind there, with all these left-handed batters coming up behind the right-handed batting Tabata, whom he had handled quite easily his first 2 times up tonight. Garrett Jones is single to center and is fouled out to Roland.
No, and I would say the way that Charlie Morton's cruising along right now, you can ill afford to give up another run.
Good series starting tonight in Philly. Tell you, Philadelphia's got some tough games coming up. Now they are at home, and of course they love playing in that ballpark. They sell out every night. I mean every night. Jam-packed, great atmosphere. They've got Colorado in for 2. The Rockies just won back-to-back games over the Giants to move into first in the National League West. But Philadelphia has Colorado for 2. Texas comes in over the weekend. That is certainly one of the more intriguing interleague series. The first go-round, the defending American League champs.
Into Philly?
Into Philly over the weekend. Then right behind them, the Reds come in. So, you know, Philadelphia's got their work cut out for them on that homestand. Phillies have lost 4 games in a row.
They're not hitting.
A Texas team, of course, without the reigning American League most valuable player, Josh Hamilton.
But he's on his way back. He's been taking batting practice.
They're tied with Oakland atop the American League West. The Angels only a half game back. 1-1 on Garrett Jones. Cleveland with that 5-game lead over surging Detroit in the American League Central. Everybody else in that division under 500. What about Tampa Bay? Started 1-8. They've gone to 23-10 ever since. Reds will see the Rays this year during interleague.
They've got some awfully good young pitching, just like the Reds did.
He went around 1-2 to Garrett Jones. Of course, the Reds this year will play everybody in the American League East with the exception of the Boston Red Sox. And they'll have the 2 series rather, a total of 6 games against Cleveland.
Play the Yankees here. Think anybody will come to that?
Good chance. Thinking something might be on there. Dusty Baker pitches out. Two and 2 on Garrett Jones. And try to get him to chase up in the strike zone. He doesn't. So now the runner for sure will start on 3-2 with 2 men out.
I think Clint Hurdle is dead set on playing for the big inning in this ballpark. It's got to remind him of managing in Colorado. You don't want to give away outs here.
Lotto sets himself and underhands to the covering Arroyo to retire the side. A man left. Reds still trail after 4.5, 3-0.
I thought everything was going well this past weekend until the very end, but I think it's good for us. I think it's good for our fans. It gives us something to really look forward to when we play these guys. And they're a tough team, and they're going to be right there all year. And I think they're going to be the team that we're going to have to try and beat all year, and so it makes it a little more interesting.
Those are the comments made by Reds general manager Walt Jocketty prior to the game on Reds Live with Jim Day and Jeff Pecoro, when asked about the back and forth over the last year plus between the Reds and the Cardinals.
How often do you think the Cardinals will have a situation where Pujols plays third base like that?
Tough to say. He was the one that went to Tony La Russa apparently and said, I think that I should do this, and I think it would help our team. If Albert walks in the door and says, I want to play third base, there's probably a good chance that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, with having Rasmus out, and you got to get an extra bat in there with John Jay. It made sense then, but boy, it really makes sense if you had Jay and Rasmus in the lineup, because both those guys can hit.
Of course, the danger you have with Pujols is he has been nursing a very bad elbow for the better part of 3 years.
You're right.
And there are some out there that have suggested he have surgery. He's found a way to strengthen everything around that elbow and make sure that he's able to play. And obviously he's been able to play every day, and he's been able to play remarkably well. But it's not to say you can't hurt your elbow playing first base, and never in a million years would you root for anybody to get hurt. It's not good for the game if Albert Pujols is not playing. But you certainly do a lot more throwing and put a lot more stress on your elbow when you're playing third as opposed to playing first.
Oh, you're so totally right about that, and that's just not a chance that I would be willing to take over the long haul. Every once in a while, maybe.
Charlie Morton is just chewing this lineup up, and this is a lineup that's been scoring 6-7 runs a night. Well, we talked about Fox Saturday Baseball. It's back in prime time as interleague play kicks into full gear. You'll get to watch the Cubs and the Red Sox from Fenway. Prime time Fox Saturday Baseball, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Of course, Boston is only 1 game over 500. They trail the Rays by 2.5 in the East, and you just saw the Cubs. And that was not pretty. Not to say they can't get it turned around. They've got some talented players. You and I were talking before the game about that team, but that was a couple of days of ugly baseball.
Correctamundo.
All 7 runs allowed by the Cubs last night unearned.
And 2 errors by the pitchers. 1 by Garza, 1 by Wood. Tommy, when you've got a fastball that is 90+ miles an hour moving the way Charlie Morton's is right now, you don't have to throw anything else.
Although he threw the hook there on a 2-strike pitch, and he rings up Arroyo, this home plate umpire Laz Diaz. 4 strikeouts for Morton. MLB.com at bat 11. For more information, text at bat to 31826 or visit Reds.com for details. Reds left 2-1 in the first, left 2-1 in the fourth. The only 2 innings they put a base runner on against Charlie Morton, and here's Drew Stubbs. Stubbs has bounced to second and grounded out to short.
And you can see the Reds hitters trying to make adjustments against this guy. But I don't even know that Charlie Morton knows exactly where the ball is going to end up. He just knows it's going to move. He starts it almost off the plate away from the right-handers, and the ball ends up right on their knuckles by the time they make contact. can't get a hard hit ball out of it.
Struck him out, and that retires his side in order. We played 5. Morton and the Pirates with a 3-0 lead. Saturday, June 4th here at Great American Ballpark. The first 20,000 fans in attendance receive a Reds military-style cap courtesy of Fox Sports Ohio. 381-REDS for tickets or log on to Reds.com.
Cap. I thought you said military cat. What is that?
We're going to give away military cats.
Well, I just didn't hear it right. That's why I was wondering.
Pretty evident.
Yeah.
Strike 1 to Neil Walker. Of course, you see that number 7 there on the Pirates jersey, on the right sleeve of their jersey. You know about the Reds wearing number 10 on their jerseys this year in memory of the late great Sparky Anderson. That's in the air down the right field line, and it's out of play. The Pirates number 7 is for the late Chuck Tanner. Boy, every time we went into Pittsburgh, the Newcastle in Pennsylvania native, still working for the team as a senior advisor, passed away on February the 11th. Was a manager of the Pirates for 9 years, including that World Series title in '79, and truly one of the nicest gentlemen you would ever meet in your life. What a delightful man, and he certainly is missed.
Talk baseball with you non-stop.
Always a smile on his face. I mean, he and Sparky were a lot alike in that regard. Always smiling. And just wonderful guys. There's a Hamilton native, right? Kent Tekulve.
That was your boy Omar's.
That's right.
Run down the ball as well as steal those bases.
Willie Stargell and that 1979 club.
We are family.
They had another great Cincinnati product on that club.
Who that?
Dave Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
The Cobra.
How's that guy not in the Hall of Fame? Right? I mean, are you kidding me? Dave Parker?
I think some people got mad at him.
Yeah. What a player he was. My, oh, my. You talk about an explosive, powerful player. He was a whole package, man.
Not only in Pittsburgh, but in Cincinnati as well.
Yep. In the air off the bat of Walker to Drew Stubbs.
I watched him all those years from the time I was 10 coming up and watching him run around the bases after he would just crush the ball. RBIs galore. And then here I come in my first year in the big leagues, and I've got to face him with the bases loaded.
Really?
Oh, I wasn't trembling, but I sure felt like I should have been.
Big man, and boy, could he hit. And play defense. He had the best arm in the league, or one of them anyway. That is a fair ball that gets by Johnny Gomes off the bat of Lyle Overbay. And that ball just keeps on rolling, and Overbay slams on the brakes at second base.
I don't think Overbay thought the ball was going to be fair, and I don't think Johnny thought the ball was going to be fair either. Did not look like he got the normal jump that he would have. Didn't quite turn it on to the last second. See Overbay kind of jogging down the line there. That's not full speed, by the way.
That should have been a 3-base hit.
Yeah, that would be somewhere between half and 3/4 speed.
All right, here's Alvarez. He hit that 3-run home run to right center field his last time up, accounting for the only 3 runs from either team in this game tonight. I'm sure Arroyo will be quite careful to Alvarez. You know, you say that, but I mean, this guy coming in is hitting .230 now. Based on what we saw last year, you know he's a better hitter than that, but they're going to get him out. Overbay on the third, and that's the difference in not busting it out of the gate and turning that into a triple rather than a double, because it'd be 4-0 Pirates right now.
Well, if you're a Reds fan, you hope that's one of those runs that comes back to haunt the Pirates at the end of the game.
Rowan will take care of Snyder. So a double, a runner left at third. We'll see if the Reds can get it going. 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order coming up. Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning, and now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Wanted that ball a little further away from Alvarez. Came back to the middle of the plate. 3-run home run. Our Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Arroyo has so many different speeds that he uses on pitches that seem to be just right down the heart of the plate. But a lot of times when he starts it in the middle of the plate, that's a pitch that he hopes will sink and go down and away from a left-hander or from the right-hander, and that ball just didn't do anything. It stayed right there. Tom, I don't know if you just watched this, but Charlie Morton warming up threw 2 balls to the backstop that were uncatchable by the catcher. Maybe we should just take a few pitches. What do you think?
Might be right. I noticed the same thing sitting here. I'm like, huh?
I mean, warm-ups to the backstop, and they're fastballs. Oh, look out.
Ball 1 to Paul Yanish. Nice to see our buddy Lance McAllister hanging out tonight here at the ballpark. And we've been cooped up over there at Clear Channel Studios. Been hyperventilating the last couple of days over all this Reds-Cardinal stuff.
He's had a lot to talk about.
He needs his son Casey to calm him down a little bit. Old man getting fired up.
I mean, when you see our hitters taking those kinds of hacks, that ball's moving everywhere.
Well, he talked about taking a few. Giannis has taken 3 of the 4 pitches in this at bat, and 3 of the 4 have missed.
Get another one.
Now he takes ball 4. There you go, Cowboy.
Dude, I'm telling you, my strategy is solid. It's solid.
Second walk issued in the game. Hey, look, you brought it up before the game started. I mean, Morton is living on getting people to ground ball out. 77% of the outs he's recorded this year have been ground ball outs. Now, he does have 5 strikeouts in the game, but he's walked as many batters this year as he had struck out, or at least coming into the game. That's been his story.
24 and 24.
A lot of lines run, a lot of topspin on it, and I don't know how in the world McCutchen caught it.
He misjudged that ball, but with his quickness, he made an adjustment in a hurry. That baby was dying.
That ball scalded.
Now that's after 2 or 3 quick steps back. He comes back in to make that catch. Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions, better results, JTM.
1 on, 1 out. Reds down 3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brandon Phillips has doubled down the right field line and bounced out to third. 0-1.
Well, that would have been a nice little break for the Reds right there had that ball caught some green grass off the bat of Joey.
Double play ball here, and that'll take care of things in the inning. We go to the 7th. Pirates still lead 3-0. AT&T by Cincinnati Children's in the top 10 for all selected pediatric specialties in U.S. News and World Report's 2010 Best Children's Hospitals. By your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Bronson Arroyo climbs the hill. 95 pitches under the belt for Bronson. He trails 3-0 to the Pirates in the first of 2 to close out this 7-game homestand, a homestand where the Reds have not lost a game. That ball scalded off the bat of Ronnie Cedeno. And he has a double to begin the 7th inning. That's a big run out there right now.
That is now 15 of his last 17 games he has gotten a hit in. That is a bullet. That's after lining out to center field way back there that Stubbs had to run down his last at bat.
But now Charlie Morton up there to try to advance a runner with a bunt. We talked about that's a big run, especially the way Morton's throwing the ball here tonight. Reds only have 3 hits against him in a game. Morton with 2 sacrifices, and you can now give him 3. Well done. Two pitches shy of 100 is Arroyo in the game, and now he'll turn his attention to leadoff man Andrew McCutchen, who's flied to right, lined out to deep center, and grounded out to Scott Rowland in the 5th inning. Reds will bring the infield in.
And they really have no choice here with McCutchen at the plate. If he hits a ball anywhere on the ground where you have to take a step left or right, you have no chance of getting Cedeno at the plate.
Further than that, and the Pirates lead 5-0. That's 8 home runs for Andrew McCutchen.
He leads the Pirates in that category.
So here you have a Pirate team during a 6-game losing streak. They scored 15 runs total, and they have a third of that number in 6+ innings tonight.
After that at bat, that makes Andrew McCutchen 7 for his last 13 with runners in scoring position, and he does it with a home run. He hit that ball like he knew it was coming.
It's now 10 home runs given up this year in 56 innings by Bronson Arroyo. Nice recovery after that ball took a funny ricochet off the mound made by Brandon Phillips, and they're 2 out. Reds have Sam LeCure beginning to get loose in the bullpen. Colorado and the Phillies are in the 7th inning. That one moving along like we are here, but they're in a 1-1 game. Colorado has just tied that game into 7th. Astros and the Cardinals scoreless in the 3rd, and the Cubbies in front of the Marlins 3-1 bottom 5. Strike 1 to Garrett Jones. Everything else in the National League out west, including the Giants and the Dodgers. First time San Francisco has been to Los Angeles since that tragic occurrence where a Giant fan, a fireman, a husband, a father, was beaten in the parking lot by some Dodger fans who, if I'm not mistaken, have still not been arrested. And he's been in a coma. I mean, it is just a terrible, terrible story. So, you know, the former president of the Reds, John Allen, was just appointed by Major League Baseball to be the right-hand man of Tom Schaefer to run the ball club. You know, while all the ongoings of Frank and Jamie McCourt continue. And he made the comment, you won't be able to turn around and bump into somebody without hitting somebody in security for that series tonight.
Well, it's just that rivalry has just gotten, well, it's out of control, especially with no security.
Votto the catch and foul ground, and that will end the inning, but damage done. A 2-run home run from McCutchen to make it a 5-0 game.
Play him in left field.
NASCAR on Fox goes to Charlotte. Kurt Busch will try and defend his title. Coverage of the Coca-Cola 600 begins Sunday, May 29th with a pre-race show delivered by Pizza Hut at 5:30 p.m. in high definition only on Fox. Well, the Reds' 5-game winning streak very much in jeopardy as they come to bat here in the home half of the 7th inning, trailing 5-0. Pedro Alvarez, a 3-run home run back in the Pirate 4th. And then in the top of this inning, a 2-run home run from Andrew McCutchen. Meanwhile, the Reds have not solved Charlie Morton for now a second start in his 2011 year. He had a complete game, allowed 1 run on the Pirates' first visit into town.
And that came in the very last inning of the ball game. The 1 run.
Ground ball after ground ball, seemingly again tonight for Morton. This 2-game stop, remarkably, considering we're not even to the 20th of May, and the Pirates will not come back here again this year despite being a divisional rival. Reds have not been to Pittsburgh this season, so that means they'll go there, what, 3 times? And it's not been pretty for the Reds against Clint Hurdle's team so far this year.
No, it hasn't.
They've lost 3 or 4 already. And they're trailing 5-0 here tonight. Another ground ball and another easy out. Well, if you weren't with us during Reds Live, Jeff Pecoro and Jim Day asked Walt Jocketty about the left field situation, not only at the big league level, but down in AAA Louisville.
In fact, Frazier did play left field today at Louisville. The game was on TV and had an opportunity to watch it. So he is, they say that may be his best position. Alonso has played out there quite a bit, and I'll see him the next couple of days when I see the Louisville club. I asked him to play him at left field, so I'll get a chance to see him firsthand. But they tell me that he has played well. He threw a guy out at the plate either last night or the night before. So I think those guys probably for now will stay at AAA. And up here, we just hope Johnny gets hot, and because we need his bat in the lineup.
There's so many options. Of course, the one name that they asked about earlier was Dave Chappelle, who was just spectacular for the Reds during spring training, coming off a great year in the minor leagues last year. But Chappelle has been out with an oblique injury for quite some time. There's a fly ball left center. 1, 2, 3 for Morton. We go to inning number 8. Pirates shutting them out. The Coors cold hard blast and already down 3-0. It was a cold blast, all right, by Andrew McCutchen to make it a 5-0 game. And the night is over for Bronson Arroyo. He gives up the 5 runs. We talked about how much he has struggled here at home this year. Came in with an ERA of well over 5 and an earned run average of under 1 on the road. Part of a double switch. Taking over for Johnny Gomes in left is Chris Heisey, and now on to pitch, batting in the 9th spot. Heisey will be in the 9 hole, and on to pitch is Sam LeCure.
And LeCure has been, well, he's been spectacular out of the bullpen. Some guys are made for the rotation. Some guys, they find a niche in the bullpen, and I think that would qualify for Sam LeCure. He has yet to allow a run here in 2011 out of the bullpen, and this will be his 7th time out in that role.
Be facing Walker, Overbay, and Alvarez. Again, a reminder, no television tomorrow. We will have the game for you on radio. Johnny Cueto 2-0 against James McDonald, 2-3 with an ERA of over 6. Brandon Phillips going to throw to the covering LeCure.
Good job by Sam LeCure. Anytime the ball is hit to the right side of the infield or to your left as a pitcher, don't assume that the first baseman is going to cover first. You go just in case that happens, where second baseman and first baseman have to go for the ball and you become the first baseman.
Come for the Reds, stay for more fun. Make it a home run weekend and visit the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. You know, we're looking at some of the homestands coming up. And much continues to be made about the Reds' attendance. Yes, it is up slightly from last year, but still nowhere near, you know, probably where you would think a team playing as well as the Reds have played would warrant things to be. When the Reds come back from this 10-game road trip through Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Atlanta, they will have a 9-game homestand, 3 against Milwaukee on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A big weekend against the Dodgers June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then the Cubs in again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, June 6th, 7th, 8th. You look ahead at Toronto and the Yankees interleague at the end of June. But the month of July, weekends at home against Cleveland, St. Louis, Atlanta, and the Giants. So a lot of big dates coming up on the home front.
Well, you have school is out.
Yep.
There at the end of May, the first part of June. And I can assure you, after this 10-day road trip with Cleveland and Philly and Atlanta, the players will need the fans in the stands. They'll need that extra man, so to speak. And I would imagine a lot of folks that would have come to the games earlier were shying away because of the weather.
No doubt about that.
Weather's been rough.
And just when you think the economy's starting to get turned around, there's bad news after bad news on that. Here's a high pop-up. And it'll be Heisey for the second out. Cubs had a 3-1 lead in Florida. The Marlins have scored 4 and now lead 5-3. And the Cardinals have scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and they're still batting with the bases loaded against Bud Norris and the Astros.
And I think if the Reds could get Charlie Morton out of the ball game and get into this bullpen, they'd at least have a heck of a lot better shot at catching up than they do with the way he's throwing the ball right now. But I mean, he's not even close to reaching 100 pitches.
Well, he's only allowed 5 base runners the entire game, and 4 of them came in 2 innings. Alvarez started the scoring for the Pirates with a 3-run home run to right center. We were talking about him during that at bat. He looked so good when they brought him up from the minor leagues last year, and he's one of the guys you're trying to build this Pirate team around. But coming into the game tonight, he had 1 home run and 7 RBIs, batting .230 for much of the year. In a recent slump, it set him all the way down to .210.
And he was only hitting 192 with runners in scoring position, so he just happened to be the squirrel at the right place when they were passing out the nuts.
Two and 2 on Alvarez. Acura looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and he'll have to do it on a 3-2 pitch. And he'll do it on a 3-2 pitch, as Phillips throws out Alvarez, and that'll end the inning. All right, bottom of the 8th. Can the Reds get it started? They trail 5-0. Free Agent Friday presented by Mint Martini, starting at $5.40 in the Fan Zone. Enjoy drink specials, a Jimmy Buffett karaoke contest. That ought to be you, Cowboy. 513-381 Reds, or visit Reds.com/free agent. What do you think about getting up there and doing a little Jimmy Buffett karaoke? Come Monday, cheeseburger, it'll be all right. What do you think?
Paradise.
Of course, he'll be in concert at one of the big shows every year this summer out at Riverbend.
Huge.
It's always been one of his favorite stops.
I got lost the other day. I ended up at Riverbend.
What's that?
I got lost the other day. I ended up at Riverbend.
Is that right?
I was going to Batavia to pick up my new boots.
Right back to the mound. Morton will throw out, handing it. You know, Morton hasn't done it, you know, the way of, you know, getting ahead of batters. He's only thrown a first pitch strike to 12 Reds hitters so far. But when he needs to make a pitch, brother, he's making it. You're talking about the leading scoring team in the National League. And if you go back to his complete game, allowing 1 run against the Reds earlier this year in this park, and now shutting them out through 7 1/3 innings here tonight, that is doing it.
Well, not only has he got that good moving fastball, but it's at a high level of velocity.
And Heisey just steps up there and bangs one into center field, the first pitch he sees all night.
But he doesn't get to play, that's for sure. You know, you'd think you ask a guy to do the hardest job in the game, and that's to come off the bench on a cold, freezing, nasty night and face a hard sinker ball pitcher. And not only does he get the job done, he's hitting home runs left and right, and he can't find not even a bit of playing time. Go figure.
There's a base hit in the left field by Stubbs. So Heisey and Stubbs with consecutive hits with 1 out here in the 8th inning. And all of a sudden, for the first time all night, a few bodies beginning to move around in that Pirate bullpen.
Sinker middle in, and Stubbs gets those hands inside the baseball. Really see the head down on the bat. And that is your Exmo by Performance Honda.
Right now, Paul Giannis, 2 on, 1 out. That's a foul ball. Of course, Giannis' last time up had a little patience. He drew a walk on 5 pitches.
If he could get a walk here, there is a chance that Joey Votto could pull this team to within 1 run with 1 swing of the bat. He's due.
Good breaking ball in there on an 0-1 pitch to send it to 0-2.
Or even if he doesn't get a hit here, there's a chance that Joey could pull the Reds to within 2 with 1 swing of the bat, because he's due.
2 on, 1 out. Way inside.
See, this is the part of the game that we have not seen from Charlie Morton, because he's had no pressure on him at any point in time.
After every game on Fox Sports Ohio, it's Reds Live. It's brought to you by Kings Honda, the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. We've talked about it, a career-long drought in regard to the home run ball for Joey Votto. He's not homered his last 79 plate appearances. And he's not been a homer in an 80th. Coming hard is Tabata, and that's that. So a threat is silenced again by Charlie Morton. Defoe doing more on defense. Play of the game. Looked like the Reds had something going after a leadoff walk in the 6th. And that sinking liner, the catch made by Andrew McCutchen. Think about Lawrence McCutchen, former great running back in the NFL. Remember him? I think he was out of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember Lawrence Taylor. Ugh. Boy, that guy's a mess. He used to hit some running backs.
Chris Snyder, Ronnie Cedeno, and then Charlie Morton, one would assume, although they have action in their bullpen. Morton threw 110 pitches we showed you earlier in that complete game effort, allowing the 1 run earlier this year here at Great American Ballpark. Will they give him a chance to finish the game here tonight? It's hard to imagine you wouldn't.
Oh, no kidding.
LeCure beginning his 2nd inning in relief of Bronson Arroyo, who allowed all 5 runs here tonight. A 3-run home run to Alvarez in the 4th, a 2-run home run to McCutchen in the 7th. LeCure had a 1-2-3-8. And that's all for Snyder.
Check this out from Sam LeCure. The old backdoor slider to a right-hander. Started it in off the plate and broke it right back to the inside corner.
That's nice hitting right there by Ronnie Cedeno.
He hits the Reds well.
He does. It's unbelievable. You're right. I mean, guy came in batting .243, and every time the Reds play him,
Reds throw him a lot of fastballs, and he is a fastball hitter, so therefore he hits the Reds very well. Kind of like those first pitch fastballs that the Reds were throwing to Pena. Maybe they should check that. Charlie Morton's going to hit for himself. I don't think he's going to bunt. Or maybe he will. Maybe he'll bunt and go sit down and rest.
Former Major League manager Nick Leyva, the third base coach under Clint Hurdle for these Pirates. Well, he's not bunting, at least on the first pitch. Strike one.
Joel Hanrahan down in the Pirate bullpen, getting loose just in case there's a little falter by the old right-hander.
Well, he does bunt on the second pitch, and it rolls foul. 0-2. Reds in the bottom of the ninth. They'll have Phillips, Rowland, and Fred Lewis. They have a left-hander, Joe Beimel, alongside now of Hanrahan, getting loose in the Pirate bullpen. Of course, they have Evan Meek, talented right-hander in their pen, on the disabled list currently. That is a foul ball. So that is a strikeout by Morton for the second out. And they'll send Cedeno obviously back to first base. 2 outs. So now McCutcheon will take a little extra time to make his way to the plate to give Morton a chance to get back in that dugout and prepare for the bottom of the ninth inning. Stubbs drifting into right center. This will end the top of the ninth. So here we go, bottom of the ninth. Pirates in front 5-0. Phillips to start things. Giannis in a short left center field, racing out, making the over-the-shoulder reception. John Morrell hot dog play of the game. So Charlie Morton will climb the mound here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. He has 96 pitches so far in the game, and he has a 5-0 lead to work with. 2009, the only complete game shutout in the career of Charlie Morton. That was one of the few very good games he had after coming over in the trade from Atlanta. Final weekend of the year field. He had a shutout on the 30th of September. He has 2 complete games in his career. That one and the one earlier this year here against the Reds. 2-0 to Brandon Phillips. First sign of trouble, Hanrahan and Beimel would be up again down in the bullpen. Reds in danger, 3 outs away of losing for the first time on this homestand. A 3-game sweep over the Cardinals Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 2-game sweep over the Cubs Monday, Tuesday. And tonight, the first of 2 against the Pirates with an afternoon tilt mañana.
A good job by Phillips there. That ball looked like it was going to sink down and in and cut away from him. An off-speed pitch, one of the very few that we've seen from Charlie Morton tonight.
Understand officially the scoreboard has 1 more pitch thrown by Morton than what our official statistics have, so 102 is the correct number. Cedeno plants, 1 out. Reds and the Dodgers June 3rd through the 5th. Don't miss this exciting series presented by McDonald's. That's the next weekend. The Reds will be home. 3-1 Reds, or go to Reds.com for tickets. Night game Friday night. Notice a 4:10 start on Saturday, 1:10 on Sunday, and that should be a big weekend. That's part of a 9-game homestand. With Milwaukee, the Dodgers, and the Cubs coming in for 3-game series, and the Reds are now down to their final out. Fred Lewis, 1 of 3 at a single to center field, back in the 4th inning. Pirates an out away from a complete game shutout by Charlie Morton, and winning for the 4th time in 5 games here at Great American Ballpark.
I can't imagine that the Pirates have had too many shutouts. Well, let's just say complete games thrown.
In the air left field, and that is that. Charlie Morton, a complete game 5-hit shutout, 3rd complete game in his career, 2nd this year, both against the Reds, and his 2nd career complete game shutout, 1st since September 2009. The old adage about tip your cap, cowboy, it's all you can do.
That is all you can do. When a guy has that kind of stuff and he's on his game and you've been playing as well as the Reds have lately, you just tip your cap and you come take it out on the guy tomorrow.
And that guy tomorrow will be James McDonald, a right-hander. And the Reds will counter with unbeaten right-hander Johnny Cueto. 12:35 first pitch. Again, no television. It will be on the Reds Radio Network with Marty Brenneman and Jeff Brantley. Let's go downstairs to Jeff Pecora.